Welcome. Moving on to Unit 6 of Real Shanghai Mathematics Practice Book 2.1. This is the last unit of this book. As mentioned previously, you need to purchase the books, and you can get these from eBay, Amazon, or even from Collins themselves, and they should cost around £5 or less than that. And make sure you get a practice book and not the textbook. So the last unit here is just a consolidating and enhancing. So it's a revision of the material and building on it so it gets better. So the section is split up into 5 parts. The first of these is let's multiply, so it's multiplication, practice, and mental calculations. So your child should be familiar with these times table, and if they're not familiar with these times table, they need to practice them again and again until they get very confident. And if you're building, and I would suggest they build on the multiplications as well. So once they get comfortable with one, go to the next one and then combine the two, and it should get to a stage where you should be able to test all the timetables randomly, and they should be able to answer quite quickly. So question 1 is that, for example, 6 times 8 is 48, and if your child is not sure and prefers 8 times 6, that's not a problem as long as they are able to do it. Moving on to 2, fill in the missing numbers. 9 divided by 3, the answer is going to be 3 divided by 3, and so on. As you're aware, you can get the answers from Collins Answers as well, but again, you'll need the book to be able to do the password to be able to get access to the answers, and so on and so forth. Question 2, 5 times 2 times, that's going to be 10 times 2 is 20. So I'm just going to cover the ones which may be a bit tricky or maybe not be that clear how to do them. So question 3, write the maximum number possible in the brackets. So the maximum number, so in the 8 times table you need to go up. So 8 times 6 is 48, and 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56, so it's going to have to be 8 times 6, so it's going to be 6 there. And then 23 is the largest one, so 9 times what gives you, so 9 times 3 is 27, and 9 times 2 is 18, so this will have to be 9 times 2, and so on and so forth. Question page level B, as I say, level B is a little bit more trickier. So we'll do these ones. Question 1, write suitable numbers in the boxes. So you can do any numbers here to be able to do it. The 4, 9, 16, 25. The other timetable that is useful to know as well is to go through the squared numbers. So your child should be familiar with 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 7 is 49, 8 8 is 64, 91, 100, 121, and 144, although that's 11, 12 times table, which hasn't been mentioned here, so don't worry about those. And again, if you can familiar with that, then you know the 4 is going to be 2 times 2, 9 is 3 times 3, and so on and so forth. 36, again, different ways of doing it. You just need to be familiar with your times table, so you look at the number and know which times table they're in. For example, 49 is going to be in the 7th time table, and then you got 12 equals the different ways, 3 times 4 or 2 times 6, and so on and so forth. 24. All right, numbers. Number 2, what numbers do the shape represent? So this is a little bit more trickier, and you need to be familiar with the multiplications, and sometimes it's a little bit by trial and error. So just having a quick look here, so it looks like 9, the triangle might be a 9 because 9, 63 is in the 9 times table, and it's not something that's familiar in other times tables, so I would go with that. So that's 9 times 7, and so the circle will have to be then 2, and the triangle is, as we've said, it's going to be a 9. Moving on to the second part, which is again more practice, and that's multiplying and dividing games. Mental calculations, again, should be familiar with this. We've mentioned this before, and we'll say again, be careful of the order to do it. So for example, 32 minus 9 times 3, as we mentioned before, times comes ahead of takeaway, so you'll have to do 9 times 3 first, which is 27, and then 32 take away 27. Okay, so be careful of that. And again, division, 18 divided by 9, that's first, and then plus 10. 70 take away 30 divided by 5, so it'll be 30 take away divided by 5 first, which is 6, and 70 take away 6 then. Fill in the missing numbers for 2. Remember, factors are 2 numbers times together, which give you a product, so it should be straightforward. A product is 0 for one of them, so 7 times what? So remember, any number times by 0 would be 0, so the other factor has to be 0. And then for 24, you can have any of the 2 factors there. The important thing is getting it right, rather than getting fixated with which answer did you put. Did you put 6 in the top or 4, or vice versa? And the dividend is the larger number, divides and quotient of the answers. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and so on and so forth. And then moving on to 3, which oval should each card go in? Write number sentences in the correct oval. So again, straightforward, and you may yeah, so they should fit anywhere. So 0 times 9 is 0, so that'll be less than 24. The numbers which are exactly 32, like 4 times 8 will go in there. Again, you need to be familiar with the times table. And then greater than 48 would be an example of 100 divided by 1. And just put them into the right boxes. Question 4. Read each question carefully and work out the answer. There are 3 yellow flowers. The number of red flowers is 6 times the number of yellow flowers. So 6 times 3 will be the answer. And each has 48 balls and shares them. When you share equally, then that means dividing, because each person will have less than 48 balls, so it'll be 48 divided by 8. A car can carry 5 people at the most. Can 8 cars carry 43 people? So if 8 cars can carry 5, so 8 times 5 is 40. So can carry 43 people? No, you can't. Emma makes 6 small paper flowers. Dylan, Poppy, and Alex each made the same number of flowers as Emma, so each one will be 666. How many small papers, flowers do all of them to have together? So 6 times how many people are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, including Emma, so 6 times 4. Question 1 in level B, much more trickier. So find the pattern 3, 6, 9. So they're going up by what number? They're going up 3, and then the 3 times table, so you carry on. 100 is going downwards. It's going downwards, but actually, again, a little bit more tricky, as I say, but again, shows the importance of knowing your squared numbers, which we talked about before. So 10 times 10 is 100, 9 times 9 is 81, 8 times 8 is 64, 7 times 7 is 49, 6 times 6 is 36. So you need to do 5 times 5 and write the answer there, and 4 times 4. And then complete the table. Should be straightforward. 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 8, so some of them have been done. And then the bottom one, for the other side, to get to 14, it'll have to be 2 at the bottom. So below 4 has to be a 2, otherwise we wouldn't have got 14. So you have to do that bit first, and then you can start filling the others. Number 3, there are 27 balloons. What is the smallest number of balloons that can be removed so that the rest of the balloons can be shared equally between 5 people, children? How many balloons each I get? Again, B's might be a little bit trickier, but so you need to spend a bit more time. So the only way to get any tool between 5 children, it has to be in the 5's time table. Okay, how many balloons did each child get? So we need to just get rid of 2 balloons, that'll be 25, and so 5 children will get 5 each. And then moving on to the third part, which is 5 threes plus 3 threes equal 8 threes. So that's here. Okay, so they're just showing you that in this topic. So the total number of apples and pears is that this many groups of this many plus this many groups, and so on and so forth, equals this many groups equals that many groups. Okay, so write the numbers there, and if that's confusing, don't get too worried about the English words as such. The important thing is 2 times 3 plus 4 times 3 equals what? So 2 times 3 is 6. Again, remember multiplications first. So this is another example. We do 2 times 3, 6. 4 times 3 is 12. So multiplication is done first. Then we do 6 plus 12. Okay, which will equal 18. And put 18 in the right at the end box. And then what number times by 3 is equal to 18? So that'll be 6 times 3 equals 18. So again, 2 times 3 plus 4 times 3 equals 6 times 3, which equals 18. Complete the table, then fill in the blank in the sentence. 2 times table, so 2 times 3 is 6, and so on. 7 times, so 7 times 3 is 21, and 7 7 is 49, 7 9 is 63. 2 times a number plus 5 times a number is how many times? So fine. So they are teaching you a different way, a way of doing additions. So let's see if you have understood this. So what they're showing you is the following. Let's see if you can follow this. If you don't completely follow this, then again, I don't think it's a major issue. So 3 times 3. Okay. Plus 2. I mean, it'd be good if the child can understand this. Or it's just an introduction, so it's not an issue, because later on they'll learn this in maths anyway. Usually with algebra, but still worthwhile knowing. Okay. So what happens with these ones? Because it's times by 3, and both of them are being times by 3, so this is times by 3 plus a number times by 3, so the times 3 is still going to be there. and because 3 add 2, so that's the same as 5 times 3. Okay, so again times 3 times 3 times 3. Because they're times by 3, then we can do this. Okay, if this was times by 4 and this was times by 5, then we can't do this. Only reason we can do this is because both of them are being times by 3. Clearly we can move the times other way around if we have to make it into this shape, which is fine. But it's times by 3 and then it's 3 plus 2, so 5 times 3, and which equals 15. Okay, and just to, and it will work for everything, but you just need to make sure you do it that way around. And this is what they're really showing you here. And again, if you're not sure, look, 9 plus 6 equals 15, so you can see it works. I'd say it will work for everything else, and that's what they're showing you really in question 3. That's what they're showing you. So 3 times 3 plus 2 times 3, 3 plus 2 is going to be 5, so it's the same as 5 times 3. Let's do another one. N1 6 times 5 plus something times 5 is going to be 10 times 5. Because they're all three are times 5s, then it can be adding. So 6 plus 4, so that's going to be 4. 6 times 5 plus 4 times 5 equals 10 times 5. And if you just want to double check, you can. That's going to be 30 plus 20, which equals 50. And then question 4 is similar pattern to that. Let's do 4a near the end. 5 times 7 plus 7 times 3. Okay, so the way to do this is a little bit tricky, but remember we said this before, you have to create, both sides have to be the same. So in this case, it has to be times by 7. So if they're both times by 7, then the end will be times by 7. And because we flipped this, so what we ended up doing is 5 times 7 plus 3 times 7. Okay, we just move them into the right. So 5 times 7 plus 3 times 7. Okay, so and because 7 times 3 and 3 times 7 is the same, so we just turned it over. 5 times 7 plus 3 times 7, which will equal a number times by 7, because times 7 we've kept there, and it'll be 5 plus 3, which is 8, so that's 8 times 7. And then we can write the answer there. 8 times 7 is 56, and so on and so forth. And then we've got this bottom one here. 9 times 7 equals, well, 9 times 7 for B we're doing now. 9 times 7 equals 9 times a number plus 9 times a number. So as long as those two numbers add up to 7, that'll be fine. So it can be 9 times 2 plus 9 times 5, or 9 times 3 plus 9 times 3, 9 times 3 plus 9 times 4, because 3 plus 4 makes 7, and so on and so forth. And then moving on to 5. 5a, there are 10 black fishes and 30 red fishes in the tank. The number of red fishes is how many times more? So how many times more? 10 times 3. So it'll be 3 times more. The school has 47 footballs divided by equal by 9. How many footballs does each class get, and how many footballs are left over? So you need to be familiar with the 9 times table. So the 9 times table, 9 times 4 is 36, and 9 times 5 is 45. So it'll be 5, and then 2 footballs are left over. 1, think about the times table first and fill in the number. So 11 times 6 has been done. 1 times 6 plus 10 times 6 again, because 1 plus 10 equals 11, and they're both times by 6. So the different ways of doing that, and just work your way through that. So you can do 2 times 6 and the other one, and then the other one will be 1 down from the other one. So 2 times 6 in 2 times 6 plus 2 times 6 plus 9 times 6. Okay, and then so on and so forth. And then we've got, shall we do 1c? Okay, let's do 1b, because it'll be more trickier. 7 times 9 plus 7. Remember, 7 is the same as 7 times 1. Okay, again, I repeat, that 7 times 9 is the same as, 7 times 1 equals 7. So it's the same thing. So what we do here is 7 times, so these remain 7 times, and it's 9 plus 1, which is 10. Again, 7 is the same as 7 times 1. And then we could do the same principle. It doesn't have to be just with one number, as long as it's the same thing. So in this case, what we're doing here, 3 times 6. Okay, they're all times by 6. So they're all times by 6. So you just have to do 2 plus 3 plus 4. 2 plus 3 plus 4, which is 9. So 9 times 6. Question 2. There are 6 pens in a box. Alex buys 2 boxes of pens. Poppy buys 3 boxes of pens. How many pens so do they have? So it's the same as 2 times 6 plus 3 times 6, which is the same as 5 times 6. Okay, so it is a good technique. If your child gets used to this, it's a very good technique, and to be familiar with it. And even if your child forgets, not a problem, because it'll be coming again and again, and makes algebra much quicker and better and easier as well. Okay, question page 94, and we're on the part 4. 5 3 times 5 threes minus 3 threes equals 2 threes. So similar to the last topic, but this is now about minus takeaway number. So question 1, 6 times 4 takeaway 4 times 4 equals how much? So the same principle applies here. Because they're all times by 4, so it'll be times by 4, and then it'll be 6 takeaway 4, so that's the same as 2 times 4, and that will be equals 8. Again, don't get worried about the wording answers because it can be confusing, so I'm not going to concentrate on that. And then compute the two times to complete the table. Again, just demonstrating that the 9 times 1, 6 times 1, and then 3 times 1 is 3, and you can see that's the same as times by 1, and 9 take away 6, that was 3, 3 times 1, and so on and so forth. Question 3, fill in the missing numbers. 7 times 3 take away 4 times 3, so that's the same as, because all are times 3, 7 take away 4, which is 3. And let's do the last one. 12 times 7 take away something times 7, so they're all times 7, so it'll be 12 take away 6, which was 6, so that would be 6 times 7. 6 will be the answer there. And 4, again, should be getting familiar with these now. You may have to swap them over like 5 times 7. So this will be 5 times 7, take away 7 times 3. I would swap them around just to get your head around it. If you try to right at the bottom, that's not a problem. So that's 5 times 7, take away 3 times 7. So that's the same as something times 7, and that'll be 5, take away 3, which is 2 times 7. And then we've got 5 times 7 for the 4b. Various ways that can be done. Options there. 5 times. So this is 5 times take away. So this is going to have to be something equals 10. So I'll do 5 times 10. Take away 5 times 3 because 10 take away 3 is 7. And then question 5 is just write greater than or smaller than. So it should be straightforward. These have been done before. You may need to calculate the answers before you carry on. So sometimes like 7 plus 36 and 36 minus 7, then you clearly know that 7 plus 36 is going to be greater. So you don't need to work out the answer. And then moving on to question 6. The pupils are at the boating lake. Each boat can take 6 pupils. How many boats are needed? Yeah, so 60 take away. So 60 divided by 6. B. Alex takes some money from his box, spends 48p on 6 identical pens, and gets 2 pence change. How much did Alex take out of his money box? How much did he pay for each pencil? So he spends that much, and he has 2 pence change. So it's a 2-step process. If he gets 2 pence change, then he must have had 50 pence at the beginning. How much did he pay for each pence? That's 48 divided by 6. So it's a lot about understanding the question, really. And then think about the problem first, then fill in the missing numbers to level B, which is a little bit trickier. So we can still have a do it. These don't look too tricky, to be honest, because it's been covered before. So times by 8. So those are going to be times by 8. 13 take away 3, that's 10. 10 times 8. 6 are going to be straightforward. Again, 6 times 15 take away 6 times 10. So they're all 6s. So I'll put 6 at the beginning because they're all 6 times. And then it'll be 15 take away 10, which is 5. And 11 times 5 take away 5 times 7. Here you'll have to swap them around just to get your head around it. And that'll be 11 times 5. Take away 7 times 5. So it'll be times 5 at the end, and it'll be 11. Take away 7, and that'll be the first part right there, which will be 4 times 5, and so on and so forth. And 11 times 9 take away 9. Remember, 11 take away 9. 11 times 9 take away 1 times 9. Okay, 1 times 9 is also 9. So I'll do it that way, in which case times 9 will be at the end, and it'll be 11 take away 1, which is 10. So 10 times 9, then you can write the final answer there. There are 6 pens in a box. Alex buys 8 boxes of pen. Puppy buys 5 boxes of pen. How many more pens does Alex buy than Puppy? So just take away, and they both are 6 pens, so it'll be times by 6 each of them. So it'll be 8 take away 5 times by 6. So 8 take away 5 is 3, and 3 times 6. Do step by step if that was too much. Basically, all we're doing is 8 times 6 take away 5 times 6. And so that's how we did the 8 take away 6. 8 take away 5 times by in brackets. So we do that first, and that would be 3 times 6. And then moving on to section 5, which is the last one, which is multiplication and division. Write each number sentence and calculate 2 factors. The 2 factors are 7. What is their product? So the 2 factors are 7. So both of them are 7, that means. And what is the product? So 7 times 7. The dividend is 40. The divisor is 5. What is the quotient? 40 divided by 5 is the answer. The answer to that is the answer. 36 divided by 6 equal parts. How much each part? So again, just wording, but 36 divided by, so it's just 36 divided by 6. How many 9s are there in 45? So 45 divided by 9. If you're getting confused whether the number is smaller or larger, just think that's the first thing you should think, smaller or larger, and that should help you in terms of whether you're doing dividing or times. And these questions are fairly easy because they're not combining the two most of the time. So these are most about division and times. How many times greater than 6 is 54? So 6 times what number is 54? So 54 divided by 6, which should be 9. What is 8 times 7? What is the total when you add 3 6s? So 6 plus 6 plus 6, or 3 times 6. What is the product of multiplying 8 by 2? So 8 times 2. Question 2 to 8. There are 5 white rabbits. There are grey rabbits. 4 times the number of white rabbits. So there'll be 5 times 4. 12 pens and 6 pencils. Number of pencil is how many times? That'll be pens. So 12 divided by 6. 25 apples. Share the equilibrium between 6 plates. How many apples are there on each plate? How many left over? So 6 times table. 6, 12, 18, 24. So there'll be 4 in each one and 1 left over. And D, fruit shop sells lots of pears, apples. Michelle packs boxes of 9 or 6 or 9 pears or 6 apples. He packs a total of 7 boxes a pair. How many pairs are there? So 7 boxes a pair. Each box is 9. So 7 times 9. There is a total of 60 apples. How many boxes can he pack? So 60 divided by 6. How many fewer apples are there than pears? So then the numbers between the two of them and then subtraction between them. I should give you the answer for D, part 3. Level B, as I say, a little bit more trickier. So let's go through these. There are the pupils, method 1 and method 2. So do whichever method you're comfortable with. The pupils go boating. Each boat contains 6. Each boat can take 6 people. There are 18 girls. The boys fit in exactly 2 boats. Is the number of girls greater or less than the number of boys? So each boat can take 6 people. Okay, so there are 18 girls. There are 6 boys fit into 6. There is the number of girls. So if they get boys fit exactly into 2 boats, how many boys will there be? There's 6, so there'll be 12 there. So you could tell them which one will be greater. So girls will clearly be greater. Think about the problem and then work it out. This is about balancing. One step at a time, and it's important with these kind of things is which step order do we do it first with. So we're gonna have to start with these. It looks like apples, so let's go with apples. So how many apples are there? And these are by quantity, not by weight. So although they're using scales, these are by quantities, numbers really. So 3, 7, and 5 are 7, 10, 12 here, and there's 3 pairs of how many times? So these are 4 times the apples. Okay. So how many times apples? Okay, actually not 4 times because the whole scale is there. So there's 12 and there's 12 and there's pairs are here. Okay, so they want to know what number that is. Okay, oh fine. Okay, fine. So they want to know. Okay, so these are not linked. It's not linked. No, they're not linked. Okay, fine. So these are 3. There's 12 here, and you can see the 12 of them balance 3 pairs. So 12 balance 3 pairs, and in the other diagram next to it, if you can see it, there's 3 pairs again, and they're balancing 2. I don't know, tomatoes, large tomatoes there. So these 3 are the same as the 12 apples. So the 12 apples is the same as two tomatoes. So if the 12 apples are the same as 2 tomatoes, then that means each tomato is going to be six apples. Okay, and that's how they balance it out, and that's how they've done it. If you can follow that, that's great. If not, then again, don't worry. As I said, level B is much harder. Question 3, maths game, grab a number. Rule the games up. People be able to get there first. Choose the number that is greater than 2 as a grab number. Then start counting from 1, 2, 3. Each people count either 1 or 2. The people first reach the grab number wins. Grab number is chosen, it's 9, and so on and so forth. Can you win? Go on, try the game. So if you try the game, if that makes straightforward to you, if not, then not an issue. As I say, level B is not strictly needed. And with that, we end Unit 6 of Practice Book 2.1, and that was the last unit of this book. So we just completed Year 2, first book of Year 2, and we'll move on to the second book of Year 2, which will be 2.2. Please share and like, and do subscribe and spread the word, and the comments below would be also appreciated.